Did megachurch pastor Tim Ross confirm that there is some kind of Christian Illuminati out there that does Diddy-like things? Let's talk about it. Just so you know, if you have kids nearby or something like that, don't watch this video around the kids. I'm about to play a video where this is a pastor. He's gonna say some stuff. He's not gonna use bad language, but he's gonna talk about bad stuff. So just be warned about that from the outset. This is megachurch pastor Tim Ross, and he's doing a podcast with Ruslan, someone who I've reacted to a lot on this channel. And if you don't know about the Diddy stuff, Diddy, you probably heard about it all. I really don't want to talk about it at all. It's really gross and disgusting, but he is in major trouble. Recording artist, producer, mogul in every way, Diddy is in major trouble. Lots of sex crimes, essentially, and among other things, and horrible accusations. I mean, minors are even mentioned in this kind of stuff. Major celebrities are supposedly tied to this as well. Really disgusting, really horrible, evil, sinful sexual crimes and sexual sins. And here on a podcast, Ruslan was asking Tim Ross, who again is a major figure in the megachurch world and the megachurch pastor, celebrity pastor world, and he says, yes, there is something like this that exists within the realm of people who claim Christianity, and he says that he was even tested to see if he would be part of this or not, and he shares a crazy story. But I'm also pretty upset with him for a part of this in this story. I think he has a lot of blame to lay at his own feet for this, but let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, consider supporting on Patreon.
But you're saying that in this Christian Illuminati, there are situations that you personally firsthand know of things where there were the Christian freak-offs full on.
Absolutely correct. Oh, and I got invited to some.
He personally knows about this stuff, and he says he got invited to some.
The Christian freak-offs full on.
Absolutely correct. Oh, and I got invited to some and tested to see if I was a part and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like my first the Cleveland love story. Have I told you about this? Okay. So I go to a church in Cleveland. I do comedy for the men's conference, and then I preach on Sunday. This is Saturday night. I'm in my hotel room chilling. I'm taking a nap. I get a call. Hey, I'm about to come get you at sometime 7 p.m. to take you to a restaurant, which is pretty normal. You're hosted by the church, whatever. It's 7 p.m. Okay. It might be 6:15. I'm like, absolutely, bro. 7 p.m. is fine. So then he says it again. Are you sure 7 p.m. is okay? I'm like, all right, I know I just woke up from a nap, but yes, I think I just made that clear. And he goes, is your wife with you? I said, no, man, it's just me. And another question, are you traveling with somebody, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't. So I know it's just me. He was like, okay, cool. So you cool if I come through at 7? Yes, bro. Like, I'm like, yes. Then his whole voice changed. You know I want to come through, right? I said, no.
Excuse me?
He said, well, I want to come through and give you some of this Cleveland love. Oh. Exactly. Bro, my whole body got nauseous.
If you didn't hear, he said, the guy told him, I want to come through and give you some of this Cleveland love.
My whole body got nauseous. I was
presumably a brother in Christ to him.
So this is my first encounter with this ever in life. So I'm like, no, thank you. That's what I said. I was so shocked. I just politely declined. No, thank you. And he said, oh, man, you don't need nothing, not even a blow.
Oh, he was, ugh.
I said, nah, dog, I'm good. Like the first one was like little kid, innocent, and then like, nah, I'm good, dog. Oh, I guess you must be getting out of that home then with your wife or something.
It's weird.
And then he just hung up.
Oh my gosh.
And then nobody came to pick me up. So my heart rate elevates. First, like the first 90 seconds to 2 minutes, I'm nauseous. Like I feel like I need to throw up. Then, because I have sexual trauma, my heart rate elevates like I had just sprinted against Usain Bolt. I mean, I could feel my heart like in my neck. It was racing so fast. And
so if you didn't hear that, he was propositioned, is that the word, to engage in sexual behavior with a guy, a member of that church. I don't know who the guy was, some kind of important-ish figure that he's driving around, the comedian, pastor, preacher guy. And he offers him, again, the chance to do something sexually with him, and then never picks him up. That's all he wanted.
And I was like, my 8-year-old inside of my 20-something-year-old body was like, you should have invited this nigga over, and you could have took the steak knife that you had in room service, and you could have killed him with it and threw him into Lake Erie. Because like now, like it was a crazy dysregulated,
that's heavy, man,
situation. So I called my wife. I'm like, let me tell you what just happened. She's like disgusted and repulsed. And then I'm like, when I get to the church tomorrow, I got to tell the pastor. So I don't know what these doing out here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I get there and I'm like, hey, bro, this what happened. And I just need you to be on notice. Mm. And he's like, that foul spirit. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I'm so sorry. And then I get inside the service and I start looking around. I was like, yeah, nah, these niggas gay. Mm. Y'all tried to get me. Okay. Y'all tried to get me. And to the best of my knowledge, I think it was a test. It was like, I got invited to this different state, different city to see if I was on the DL. Because nobody saw nothing in DFW. Uh-huh. So it's like, maybe he'll play if he's out of his home court or whatever. Because a lot of these dudes, they only married in the city that they live in.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? The ring come off as soon as they get to Atlanta. The ring come off as soon as they get to Cali. The ring come off as soon as they get to Australia. The ring come off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
And you're saying this has happened multiple times. This sort of stuff.
Oh, this stuff happens. This stuff is happening today.
But I mean, for you, this has happened what, a dozen times, more than a dozen times?
No, that happened one time.
That happened one time. But similar stuff where you've been presented.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why I won't go to certain countries.
Yeah.
Because the churches, this is how, and this is why I won't preach for everybody.
Do you think there's...
So he thinks that the organization or the leadership or some people from that church where he was asked to preach at in Cleveland, whenever that was trying to set him up, was trying to, if not set him up, just see if he's this kind of dude. And apparently there's a lot of people, and you've been seeing these scandals come out with like mega church guys. There's a lot of people who are that kind of dude, that they are completely living this second life, and there's a group of people that know it, and they all know this about each other, and they all cover this up. They engage in these horrible behaviors. What I don't like is just going and telling, I mean, if he knows about this stuff, shouldn't he expose that? If he knows that people are doing this, he's talking about it like he knows about it. So if he does, shouldn't he expose it? Shouldn't he say something about it? Just like he was willing to go talk to the pastor of that church and tell him what happened. Why doesn't he do this about these other situations that he seems to know about? He talks about it like, yeah, it's happening everywhere. It's happening all the time. This is happening in a lot of places. And this is something he even said earlier. If you get enough people at a church, there's going to be some freaks. That's what he said, which is kind of a funny thing to say, but I guess it's true. Major things like this, though, wouldn't you want to shut that down? Of all the things, the behaviors that you see in Scripture and bad things that were happening in the church of the Bible, like in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, you've got to shut that stuff down if you know that it's happening. That should be a major priority for guys like him to do. You know how like everyone in Hollywood knew what Harvey Weinstein was doing, but nobody would talk about it? It was just kind of one of those things that you knew happened, but you didn't talk about it. It seems a little bit like that to me. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe I have a misunderstanding about this. If you know more about this situation or about Tim Ross, what else he might have said about this, let me know in the comments. But it's so sick. It's so sick to think about it. It's such a stain on the name of Christianity when you have people that are engaged in these horrible rings, these Diddy-like rings. And this is the kind of stuff that you see in 1 Corinthians chapter 5, that this is like barely even, very rarely named among the Gentiles. Like the people in the world know this stuff is sick. They know it's twisted. They know it's evil. But let me know what you think about this. Is my analysis wrong about this? Am I too harsh on Tim Ross? Maybe he did what he could, but he seems to know about a lot more that's going on and doesn't talk about it. But let me know what you think. God bless you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Consider supporting on Patreon. The link is in the description below. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Goodbye.